his attack on immigration. My great-grandparents were immigrants to the United States. Immigrants have made the United States a great country. My great-grandparents came here from Ireland, the Bannons, and from Quebec and Canada, the LeCounts. And my great grandparents and millions of others like them made this a great nation. And for him to dismiss immigration like that is offensive. It certainly is to my family and millions of other American families. We live in an increasingly dangerous world. And that address yesterday by the president is going to leave us without friends, is going to leave the United States without friends in a very dangerous world. That wasn't a speech to the United Nations. That wasn't even a speech to all Americans. That was a speech to his rabid supporters here in the United States. He doesn't care about world public opinion, as you can see from that speech yesterday. All he cares about is what his supporters here in the United States.
I would beg to differ with Brad Bannon. I think that speech was the unvarnished truth to a UN bureaucracy that has been living off the fat of the land and doing nothing but passing resolutions against Israel for the past decades. Now, let's just start with something interesting for India. India and China are financing the war against Ukraine, period. Now, I don't blame China because they're on the other side of the divide of freedom and democracy and totalitarian, authoritarian rule. But India doesn't have to do this. It's not necessary. We could make deals with India. Other countries could make deals with India. So for a few bucks on a barrel, India spends billions and billions of dollars for the Russian war machine to continue. Now, let's just go on to borders and legal immigration. Illegal immigration, Brad, not what your parents.
Immigration.
No,
And my great grandparents were immigrants, and I'm embarrassed for the president for insulting my ancestors.
You had your time.
And he promised to solve the Ukraine war in 24 hours, and it's been 8 months, and it's just got worse.
If you give me a chance,
American bombs are killing Gaza women and children.
You know, Brad, you're not.
Okay. Don, go ahead. Complete your point.
Okay. Mass migration is killing Europe. 12 major cities in London have Muslim.
Yep, and then there's the anti-Muslim creed too.
Some of them are promoting Sharia law,
and some of them are very good people,
and some of them are terrible mayors. But the bottom line is not that they're good or bad people.
Why did Trump break his promise to solve the Ukraine war in 24 hours?
Are we going to have rules here, or
okay?
Or is he
okay, Don, complete your point. I just want to point out to you that Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, has just today said in an interview that he believes that Donald Trump is a racist, sexist, misogynist, and Islamophobe.
Yes. Well, let me go back to mass migration because I want to cover the larger issues that are at stake here. Europe is being ruined by mass migration of Muslims who are not assimilated.
And the United States is being helped by the immigrants who have always made this country great.
What? Am I going to have a chance to finish my speech?
And
okay, Don, please do complete your point because then I need to go to the Indian guest as well. Complete your point, Don.
Well, he spoke for upwards of 5 minutes, and I have spoken for 2 before he continues to interrupt me. Mass migration has hurt the countries of France, of Germany, of Great Britain, as Muslims who don't assimilate
There's
are
the
having
Muslim
more
thing
and
again.
more influence on the population, on the
Racial
voting
hatred.
patterns. And Europe is losing its identity. Okay, let's go to climate change. I've studied climate change as a MIT engineering doctorate. And back in Congress, I had the first hearing on climate change. Climate change is a, I don't know if I would call it a hoax, but it's simply the
Yeah, there it
alarmist.
goes. Racial hatred again.
Oh,
That is the essence of Donald Trump's
Okay,
you
presidency.
know,
but
I'm going to hang
Don,
up.
the
If you
air
want, I will
conditioning
hang up.
doesn't work. Is that
If
what
you
is
want,
causing global warming, Don? The air conditioning does not work in Europe. What does that even
excuse,
mean?
excuse me, I didn't get that. I'm trying
That
to
is
tell
something
you
that
my
Donald
view
Trump
of
has said.
global warming. The alarmist view is wrong. There is no existential threat. The existential threat comes from the policies to address global warming, which are denuding the Western civilization of fossil fuels and weakening their societies tremendously, creating electricity prices like they've never seen before. Okay,
Okay,
let's go
very
to
quickly, Don.
go to let's go to Ukraine. President Trump, and I didn't agree with his position on Ukraine for the longest time. But yesterday we saw a kind of sea change in his position, saying that, yeah, Europe could shoot down Russian planes if they violated NATO airspace. He said that. He also said that things are going to change with regard to supply of NATO with weapons, which they will pay for, and supply Ukraine. And he even talked about, I don't know if I believe this, but the Ukraine could conceivably win back all of its lands. Now, what his speech was to the UN was hard truth to a bunch of bureaucrats who are sucking hind you know what for decades, as they don't pay their parking tickets in New York City. And
Okay.
what have they done? What has the UN done in the last 30, 40 years? UNRWA, UNRWA, has been a tool, a mechanism of Hamas